Welcome to SATV News. This is Anna Hussain with our headlines. July Charter to be signed by October 16, says Professor Ali Riaz. Final recommendations by October 10. EU to send observers for upcoming polls. Expect the election will be transparent, informed Amir Khosru. ICT takes cognizance of charges against Sheikh Hasina. Tariq Siddiq issued arrest warrants. Now in details. National Consensus Commission NCC Vice Chair Professor Ali Riaz said on Wednesday that the Commission will submit its final recommendations to the government by October 10, with the goal of enabling political parties to sign the National July Charter 2025 by October 16. The Commission will hand over its final recommendations to the government by October 10. There is a sign to target to complete the formal signing of the July National Charter by the political parties on October 15 and 16, he said. Professor Riaz said this in his introductory speech while charging the fifth meeting of the Commission with political parties on the implementation of the July Charter, held at 3 p.m. at the Foreign Service Academy in the capital. The European Union has decided to send election observers to Bangladesh for the upcoming national election. BNP Standing Committee member Amir Khosru Mahmoud Choudhury said on Sunday, the EU has decided to send observers following requests from the government and the Election Commission. They are eagerly waiting to see a fair, transparent and acceptable election in Bangladesh, he said. The BNP leader made the remarks while talking to reporters after a meeting between BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir and EU Ambassador to Bangladesh Michael Miller at the BNP chairperson's Gulshan office. Khosru said the discussion mainly focused on the upcoming national election, expected to be held in the first half of February, and the overall electoral process. BNP Standing Committee member Salahuddin Ahmed yesterday said that Bangladesh is facing growth external pressure with a global superpower and two regional powers reportedly trying to extend their influence. Right now, three powers are competing to establish hegemony. Here, two regional powers and one global superpower. Each has its own interests, but all three will harm Bangladesh's interest in the same way, he said. The BNP leaders made the remarks while speaking at a discussion organized by Jatiyottabadi Chhatra Dal at Dhaka University's TSC auditorium, marking the 6th death anniversary of Buet student Abrar Fahad. Salahuddin described Abrar as a strong voice against dominator, saying I became a martyr because he spoke out against Indian hegemony. Environment advisor Saida Rizwana Hassan has dismayed spectacle that some members of the interim government are seeking a safe exit, asserting that the intendant lived the rest of her life in Bangladesh. I have always been in the country. I have faced many storms before and will continue to live the rest of my life in Bangladesh, Rizwana told reporters at the Secretariat today. Her remarks came in response to National Citizen Party NCP convener Nahid Islam's recent claim that several advisors were looking for a safe exit. As the country prepares gradually, formal charges have been filed with the International Crimes Tribunal 1 against ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Her security and defense advisor, Major General retired Tariq Ahmed Siddiq, and 28 others over allegations of enforced disappearances during the Awami League rule. Among the accused are 5 former directors general of the Directorate General of the Forces Intelligence (DGFI). After the prosecution submitted the charges today, the tribunal led by Justice M.D. Ghulam Murtaza Majumdar took cognizance of the case as well as issued arrest warrants against all the accused. According to prosecution sources, the charges name Sheikh Hasina as the prime accused in a crimes against humanity case involving the abduction and torture of opposition figures who were allegedly detained in secret cells operated by the Rapid Action Battalions, Task Force Interrogation TFI during the Army League's rule. Chief Prosecutor Tajul Islam said 2 separate sets of formal charges were submitted to Register of the Formal. Hefazat-e-Islam supporters blocked 2 major regional highways in Chattogram for 3.5 hours this morning, following the deaths of organization activists in a road accident. The activists started the demonstration around 8 a.m. on the Chattogram-Khagrachari and Chattogram-Rangamati highways, causing severe traffic congestion on both routes. Police said that the Hefazat supporters set at barricades near the north gate of Hajatari Madrasa on the Chattogram-Khagrachari highway, while another group obstructed nearly traffic near the Kolagi gate of Chattogram-Rangamati. Viewers, we are taking a short break. Stay with us.
Explore the magnificent view of Rangpur. 5-star facilities, rich chain hotel, Grand Palace. Relax in spacious rooms and suites. Enjoy local and international cuisines. Banquet and conference room. Helipad. Gymnasium. Beauty salon. Restaurants and bar. Cafe lounge. Experience luxury at Grand Palace, Rangpur.
Welcome back. You're watching SATV News. News from abroad. The Freedom Flotilla Coalition FFC said today that the Israeli military had attacked and intercepted its convoy of boats en route to Gaza, including the consignments of vessel carrying 93 journalists and doctors and activists, among them Bangladeshi photographer Shahidul Alam. In a statement, the FFC said the Israeli forces had targeted the consignments before moving to intercept 3 smaller boats, reports Al Jazeera. The group added that its passengers were being held in unknown conditions. Meanwhile, Israel's Ministry of Foreign Affairs confirmed the raid on X, saying the flotilla's attempt to breach what it is described as a legal naval blockade had failed. The vessels and the passengers are transferred to an Israeli port. All the passengers are safe and in good health. The passengers are expected to be deported promptly, it added. Hamas said on Tuesday it was ready to reach a deal to end the war in Gaza based on President Donald Trump's plan, but still has demands as Qatar Prime Minister and senior U.S. mediators headed to Egypt to join indirect negotiations between the Palestinian militant group and Israel. On the second anniversary of Hamas' attack on Israel that triggered Israel's assault on Gaza, Trump expressed optimism about progress towards a Gaza deal. A U.S. team including Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law and his Middle East envoy during his first term, left for the talks. Swedish activist Greta Thunberg alleged on Tuesday that she and other detainees of the Gaza flotilla were subjected to torture in the Israeli prison they were held. Thunberg told a news conference in Stockholm that she and others were kidnapped and tortured by the Israeli military. She declined to elaborate, adding when pressed that she did not get a clean water and that other detainees were deprived of critical medication. Personally, I don't want to share what I was subjected because I don't want it to make headlines and Greta has been tortured. Because that's not the story here, she added. That what they were subject to paled in comparison to what people in Gaza experience daily. Israel's foreign ministry did not immediately respond to a Reuters question for comment about has repeatedly denied mistreating the detainees. Scientists Susumu Kitagawa, Richard Robson, and Omar Yagvi won the 2025 Nobel Prize in Chemistry for the development of metal organic frames, the award-giving body said today. The more than a century-old prize is awarded by the Royal Swedish Academy of Science, and the winners shares 11 million Swedish crowns, as well as the frame of winning arguably the world's most prestigious science award. They have found ways to create materials, entirely novel materials, with large cavities on the inside which can be seen almost like rooms in a hotel, so that gas molecules can enter and also exit again from the same material. Hinir Linky, chairman of the Nobel Committee for Chemistry, told a press conference. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer begins a two-day visit to India on Wednesday, joined by over 100 leaders from the business, culture and university sectors in an effort to promote a recently signed trade deal. Britain and India signed a free trade agreement in July during a visit by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, sealing a deal to cut tariffs on goods from textiles and whiskey and cars and allow more market access for businesses. Talks on the part trade pact were concluded in May after 3 years of stop-start negotiation, with both sides hastening efforts to clinch a deal in a shadow of tariff turmoil unleashed by US President Donald Trump. A Los Angeles jury ordered Johnson & Johnson to pay $966 million to a family of a woman who died from mesothelioma finding in the company liable in the latest trial alleging its talc products cause cancer. The family of May Moore, a California resident who died at age 88 in 2021, sued the company same year, claiming J&J's talc baby powder product contained asbestos fibers that caused the rare cancer. The jury late on Monday ordered J&J TC to pay $16 million compensatory damages and $50 million in punitive damages. According to court filings, the verdict could be reduced on appeals as the Supreme Court has found that punitive damages should generally be no more 9 times compensatory damages. Anxieties over global geopolitical and economic risk are the biggest drivers pushing gold up to 53% surge this year to a record over $4,000 an ounce. With analysts seeing little to halt the surge, the precious metal has climbed twofold over the last 3 years as investors have sought safety amid Europe's biggest conflict since World War II between Russia and Ukraine, and the fighting in Gaza between Israel and Hamas that has killed thousands, mainly Palestinians, and expanded to include airstrikes on Iran and Yemen to disrupt the maritime trade. Economically, there is investors' angst fueled by uncertainty over the U.S. economy, as President Donald Trump has unleashed tariffs that have upended global trade, concerns about U.S. dollar strength, Federal Reserve independence, inflation, and sluggish European growth.
bankiem, powinien rozważyć zakup kolejnych 100 w ten sposób. W piątek osiągnęliśmy poziom 10%, mniej więcej 10% rezerw, co jest takim już...
Before ending, we go through the headlines again. July Charter to be signed by October 16, says Professor Ali Riaz. Final recommendations by October 10. EU to send observers for upcoming polls. Expects the election will be transparent, informed Ami Khoshu. ICD takes cognizance charges of Sheikh Hasina. Tariq Siddiq issues arrest warrants. You are up to date with our top stories so far here on SATV. And to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with us.